Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Big Air 01. We're going to do a little bit of work on my 2015 Mercury 4-stroke 20 horsepower. I use this motor to power my 14-foot SSV Lund aluminum boat. Last year I did a lot of fishing with this boat, and I was trying to keep track of all my hours that I put on my motor and my oil change and so on and so forth, but I found I lost track of how many hours I actually put on the oil. So today we're gonna put this multifunction hour meter on there to help me keep track of how many hours I have put on the oil. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Out of the package, let's go over a few things that this thing covers. So it covers your hours, your total hours. I'm assuming that's your service interval, your RPM, your max RPM, low voltage alarm. It's got a clock, max RPM, battery voltage, and so on and so forth. It's got a backlight, so like obviously it can be seen at night. It's waterproof, and it comes with an auxiliary battery. Yeah, that's about it. So it comes with a manual, which tells you sort of how to install it. It comes with the display, which looks like the battery goes in the back there, and then these are connections that go to these. So I think if I read correctly, the yellow wire goes around the actually we'll get into that when we start installing it, but I believe the yellow wire goes around the spark plug wire. You've got a red and black, which is common sense. One's negative and the other one's for power, or ground, I guess, in a power. The green one is for like an electric start, so if there was an ignition you would hook it up to the ignition. Comes with a bunch of sap straps, some quick connectors, which we'll see if I use or not. It comes with a spare, I guess that's a battery for it, and it also came with a Velcro with 3M tape so that it can be taken on and off. So let's go look at the motor and see sort of how we're going to put this on. Okay, so I think this thing is pretty straightforward. What I think I'm going to do, looking at the front of the motor here, I'm going to mount it right here. That's where I'm going to put the display. I'll probably wire it so that it goes up through, there's a grommet right in there. You can sort of see the wires coming out right there. Run them in, and then the ground I'll go here. There's a nice black cable here that's grounded to the starter, and then I'll use this wire here, or this one probably, for the positive, and then you wrap the yellow wire around the spark plug wires. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by mounting, or at least starting the putting the display on. I'm going to put it here, like I said, and then route the wires up in here. Okay, so I've got my wires pulled through. Okay, so now I'm going to hook up the red, black, and green wires. Okay, so this end plugs into here. I'm going to hook up the black wire, which is a ground, to this wire right here. And then the red wire I'm going to hook up right here. Okay, so I've got this all buttoned up in here. Got the positive here and the ground here. I've plugged it in. This only goes in one way. So now I'm going to hook up the yellow wire and the white wire. Okay, so I have the meter velcroed with the battery on. I've already set the time there, as you can see. I'll have to read the instructions for the rest of the functions that this thing does. I've hooked up all the wires, kind of got them all tucked in away neatly in here. So one thing I want to talk about is the green wire I did not hook up at this point because I'm not too sure which is my starter switch. So I think it's probably going to be the green, but I don't know for sure. So the white wire and the black wire both have to be grounded. My motor comes on and off my boat quite often, so I have just a quick connect, and so like every time I plug it into my battery, then my alternator charges through here, and this is also an electric start as well. So I figured, you know, I'm not going to be hooking it up and to the battery every time I want to use it, so all I did was hook it up to a positive terminal and also a negative terminal, or a negative side. So that's why I've gone. So the white wire goes from over there to somewhere on the block. The black one would typically go to your battery, and the red one would go to your battery as well. And then, as you can see, I've got the yellow wire kind of wrapped nice and neatly around the spark plug wire. And so I guess the next step will be just to see if I can get this thing to work properly. So one thing I do want to mention is that I did do an oil change at the end of last season, and also a gearbox oil change as well. So I've got videos on those two things on my channel, so if you want to check them out. So I know that there's no hours on this oil or this service at this point. So that's why I wanted to kind of put this on right now. So let's fire it up and see if this thing is working correctly. So for that, to make sure, just for safety purposes, you don't damage anything, you're going to need some earmuffs with a water hose hooked up to the bottom there to be able to start the motor. This motor hasn't been started this year. Okay, so I got it going here. The RPM is working. It's showing at 1660, fluctuating. I've got the time already set. Just rev it up and see. So it's going up and down. So that's working. Let's go through the menu here. So we're on RPM. This is the total amount of hours on, so obviously it's 0.0 right now. And then we have a partial, so this is one that you could reset. This is the maximum RPMs, I believe, that it's gone to. Set for a 4-stroke. The range of RPMs, I'm not too sure how to use it. I'm going to have to look at the manual, sort of what that option is. I've got an alarm here for if it hits maximum RPM, it'll obviously notify me. The service interval option is off. And then we have a voltage meter as well, but I don't have my battery hooked up right now. And then there's showing the voltage right there. I think that's the voltage alarm. So that's my alternator working. It's kind of going up and down. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's looking for a battery. And then this is the total reset. There you have it. It's all hooked up and ready to go, and this thing doesn't shut off. I think it says it lasts about 6 months for the battery, auxiliary battery. So we'll see how long it lasts and see how well it works. But yeah, if you like this install on that hour meter / tachometer, please leave a comment or a question in the comment section below, and definitely like and share this video if you know somebody that wants to do this type of small upgrade to their motor. Definitely subscribe if you liked it, and check out all the rest of the videos on my channel. I've got some videos on my boat, this motor here, and a couple dirt bikes. So check out my channel, subscribe, muchly appreciated. Thanks for watching.